Hello again. Uh, it is entry number 4, and today is 12th of February 2024. It is currently 3:49 p.m. Um, and the reason that I'm recording this pretty early in the day compared to the first three entries is that 2 days from now would be the presidential election of Indonesia, and I would be voting in the ballots in 2 days. And as my parents have suggested, I should go there pretty early in the morning. And so I want to train myself before the day itself, 2 days before or 2 nights before, to sleep earlier. But then I don't really have anything to talk about since I woke up uh, quite late this afternoon. Woke up at around 1 past 3 or something. 1 past something. I did wake up earlier in the day. I woke up at 11, which is still considered pretty late, I think. But compared to previous days, compared to the previous week, the past week, I think it's a lot. I think it's an improvement. Uh, but again, it's not because I slept again until till 1. But I guess what I can talk about is what I dreamt. I dreamt of kind of an action scene where I was this policeman chasing another person. Not sure. There are usually like chapters to my dreams. It would kind of like shift from plot to plot. Sometimes it would have nothing to do with the other, and sometimes it would have something to do. But oftentimes it doesn't really have anything to do. It just kind of the story sort of shifts abruptly, and I would be taken to another place, another setting, another story. But anyways, this police story was like the last one right before I woke up. I was at the highway driving, and a couple other cars are also driving, and I was driving as fast as possible, and seemingly I can control like the how fast the cars are by this is I don't know how I would exactly put it, but it's like it's half of it is like real, is like as in it behaves just like in real life. So like you just imagine like driving normally, but then like half of it is like I can control as if it was like a toy or something. Like because I felt that my car wasn't like fast enough. Uh, but at that time, like I was just confused. Like, what exactly am I doing? Why exactly am I driving fast? But all I knew was that I wanted to go faster. I would assume, and so I guess the story sort of builds on what I assume it is about. I guess my dreams are in a way lucid. I'm in a way lucid dreaming, but I am not I'm not aware that it is a dream as far as I know, as far as I remember. Uh I don't think I've ever lucid dreamt. It's always sort of like half-assed. It's always uh it's a half-assed lucid dream. So I'm not quite aware, but I can sort of control it in a way. Yeah, just like that. Just like how my car wasn't going fast enough, and so I kind of imagined like those toy cars where you have to wind it up, like there's like a spring inside, and you would wind up the spring by pulling it back, and you would just kind of release it and go zoom past. Uh, that's how I imagined it. So I wasn't going fast enough, so I kind of like did that, and my car like went back, and I kind of released my hand, kind of in my imagination, and the car went a bit faster for a brief moment, and it caught up to this other car, which at that time I wasn't sure of why I was seemingly chasing this car, and so I kind of just thought it up that oh, this might be a criminal or something. And kind of the story that evolved to that, and yeah, it changed scenes, it changed places after that. I'm not sure how it got to that point, but uh, it was an abrupt change. Like suddenly, I was at this place where both cars were stopped, where my car and the other guy's car were stopped. I was driving a van, like a police van, with like equipment in the back of the van, and this guy was driving some sort of muscle car, not sure. But I cornered this guy, and he eventually stopped, and then we had kind of a uh those western those western cowboy movie scenarios, those Mexican standoff kind of thing going on. We had he had a kind of an Uzi gun, and I had a pistol, and I held him at gunpoint right before he pulled out his submachine gun. But then I remembered, oh no, it won't shoot because somehow the cartridge, or the I mean the clip that has the magazine that contained actual rounds was still back in the fan. So I had to rush back to the fan, and it was kind of like a movie where it's like, oh no, the bad guy's about to get the good guy. Like he's like he's like limping because I think I shot him once, and then like my gun was empty, and so he's kind of limping, and I kind of tried as fast as possible to get to my fan and grab the live rounds, and I was able to, of course, just like any of those movies. But then, of course, without not without wounds, because he shot at me a couple times, and I sort of played like a movie, and then I woke up. Yeah, basically that. It's not really that special. This dream, um, not quite as weird as the others that I've had before. But nonetheless, quite an interesting dream that I actually thought, oh, this might be made into a movie or something. Actually, has a pretty cool action scene to it. Yeah. Then I and woke up with a bit of a stomachache, and I went to the bathroom shortly after that. Had to do a number two. Uh, uh, Slight hiccup there, but then the day went on pretty fine. Um, except the fact that I have a messed up sleeping schedule. Um, I don't know what else to talk about. Productivity, I guess. Productivity, like A lot of times I don't feel like I'm being productive as possible, and I feel guilty. But then it's like I get confused in how I should think about it, especially like with doing anything. Basically, with doing anything, I should. I haven't really found a fixed framework, um, which I can rely my daily life on. I mean, I have a scheduling system. Like I have this app called Notion, and I would schedule my days based on that. I would have these to-do lists of every day of the month, and I would kind of split it monthly. Um, and yeah, and every under every like day, I would have like to-do lists. This is pretty basic stuff. Um, that's kind of the only concrete thing that I have that I hold on to when it comes to being productive and when it comes to like managing my time. But other than that, like doing itself, it's and like trying to look at it at a uh in a more encompassing way, in a more like uh yeah, a more encompassing way where I have this whole framework of how to look at things that have to do with doing things and having aspirations, because those two things are related, since what else if not your impulses, and if not your seeming dreams, uh, to be the primary motivators of doing things in your life. And I haven't really quite found myself, my honest self, when it comes to doing that. I feel like I have to do certain things because of external reasons, and some people might argue that that's bad. You should only have this internal reason to it should all come internally. But then you can argue also that those external could could just come from the internal, and like these internal motivations are what drives or what perceives those external stimuli, and so it's all internal. See, that's like yeah, but kind of that defeats the purpose of dividing what's internal and external, because undoubtedly we have something that's outside of our seeming control, and that can be attributed to the what would be called the external. Um, but yeah, I just can't quite figure it out. Maybe what I have figured out is that it's probably better for me to not pressure myself to do anything as early as possible. I mean, of course, it would be really bad if I put it off for the last at the last minute. But it's not that. It's like I should get somewhat close to it with enough time to actually finish what what uh what is at hand, what the task is all about, even though it's like a pretty hard task. Like I should kind of I work best when there's that sort of pressure. I feel like there's that sort of pressure, there's that actual time pressure. But without that, it's like I could do something else. I could kind of chill. But then again, that there's that voice that annoys me, that nags me to do what I'm supposed to be doing. That's supposed to be the ideal of of completing things, which would be like, oh, you should complete things way before the actual deadline, since you could save time and you could be as calm as possible. You could be free from worry on the day itself, or close to the day itself. But then I don't know. I mean, I just don't seem to be able to do that. I just don't seem to be able to put myself to work if it's not that urgent. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's that. It's how I work. It's uh how I perform naturally best. How I perform best naturally, or whether it has to do with me not actually being interested in the subject. Because if I were interested in the subject, or anything in the action, or in the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, then I would just do it immediately. Since, like, why not? Since it gives me pleasure to do it. But a lot of the times the good things come after the bad things. As in, like, you have to go through a lot of pain and suffering to be able to reach this point that's better than before, to be able to grow and develop yourself and become a better you and be in a better position. Is that you have to go through all the shitty stuff to get the good stuff. And that's kind of the basic classical classical saying, classical wisdom is that. I think I think in a way, yeah, it is it is the truth of the matter. Is that what gives a lot of meaning is almost always the thing that makes you suffer the most uh, firsthand initially. Yeah. Well, I guess it's almost 20 minutes. I don't really want to waste my time talking about some nonsense that I don't actually know about or wanted to do in the first place, I think. Because at first I thought, this kind of video journal thing would be somewhat of a therapy for me, to kind of share my thoughts and feel like I'm being listened to. Although, well, no one's responding, but since, like, but I'm still, I've put a reason for me to I've set a reason for me to talk and share about my feelings. And so it's kind of good enough for me to see. Is a good enough reason for me to have. But, well, I don't know any more what to say, other than I just thought of this one place in my childhood. It just suddenly popped in my mind right just now. It's this place in the mall. It's kind of like a little food court near. It's on the third floor. It's at the end of the hall. It's right beside Carrefour. The shopping mart, the grocery store. There's this, like, little place that sold food. I think, like a little cafeteria thing. That didn't quite work out for them, and they closed it down. I think, I'm not sure. Yeah, but I'm not sure how. See, that's kind of fascinating too, though. Uh, how we're able to suddenly have these memories kind of seemingly pop up out of nowhere for seemingly no reason. Whereas, that's quite a mystery, actually. Huh, I might look into that. Alright, so almost 20 minutes. I'm gonna stop it at 20 minutes exactly. And so I will see myself and you guys at the next entry. Goodbye.